Hey, Sarah. How's it going? You look like you're thinking about something very serious.
Oh, hi, Mark. I was just looking at an old photo of myself when I was 10 years old. I was wearing a terrible neon green sweater and crying. It reminded me of a huge mistake I made back then.
A neon green sweater. That sounds like a fashion crime. But tell me, what happened? Why were you crying in the photo?
Well, it was a sunny Saturday afternoon. My mom was cleaning the kitchen, and my dad was working in the garden. I was playing football inside the house, which was strictly forbidden, of course.
Oh no. I can guess what happened next. Something broke, right?
Exactly. I kicked the ball a bit too hard. It flew across the living room and hit my mom's favorite antique vase. It fell on the floor and shattered into 1,000 pieces.
Ouch. That's a classic childhood mistake. What did you do? Did you try to hide it?
I was trying to pick up the pieces when my mom walked into the room. She didn't say anything at first. She just looked at the mess. Then she looked at me. I started crying immediately. That's when my brother took the photo.
Your brother is cruel. But we all have those stories. I remember a big mistake I made when I was living in my first apartment.
Oh, tell me, was it a cooking disaster?
Worse, it was a flooding disaster. One evening, I was getting ready for a date. I turned on the water in the bathtub because I wanted to take a relaxing bath. While the water was running, the phone rang.
Let me guess, it was a long phone call?
It was my best friend. We were talking about the date for at least 30 minutes. I completely forgot about the water. Suddenly, I felt something cold on my feet. I looked down, and the water was flowing out of the bathroom and into the hallway.
Oh, Mark, that's terrible. What did your neighbors say?
Luckily, I stopped it before it reached the apartment downstairs, but I spent the rest of the night cleaning up water instead of going on my date. I learned a very important lesson that day. Never leave a running tap alone.
That's a good lesson. Speaking of forgetting things, travel mistakes are the worst, aren't they?
Definitely. I remember one time I was traveling in Italy. I was standing on the platform waiting for the train to Rome.
Did you get on the wrong train?
Yes, while I was reading my book, a train arrived. I didn't check the number, I just jumped on it because I thought it was mine. I was sitting comfortably and listening to music when the ticket collector came.
What did he say?
He looked at my ticket and started laughing. He said, "Sir, this train is going to Milan, not Rome." I was so embarrassed. I had to get off at the next station and wait for 3 hours in the middle of nowhere.
At least Milan is beautiful, but waiting for 3 hours is not fun. I had a similar mistake. A few years ago, I was driving to a job interview. I was using an old GPS system.
Let me guess, the GPS gave you the wrong directions.
Not exactly. I wasn't paying attention to the signs because I was listening to a very interesting podcast. Maybe it was the Daily Breeze from the future. Anyway, I turned left when I should have turned right. I ended up at a construction site.
Did you make it to the interview on time?
I arrived 20 minutes late. I was sweating and my hair was a mess because I was running from the parking lot. I apologized to the manager, but I didn't get the job. It was a big mistake, but it taught me to always check the route before I leave.
Sarah, hearing about your job interview reminds me of my first week at my current job. I was trying so hard to impress my boss, but I made a huge mistake.
Oh no, Mark. What did you do? Did you spill coffee on his laptop?
Worse. One Tuesday morning, I was writing a very honest email to my work friend, Dave. We were complaining about a new rule in the office. I was typing things like, "Our boss is being so annoying lately, and this rule is totally stupid."
Oh, I think I know where this is going. Please tell me you didn't hit reply all.
I didn't hit reply all, but while I was clicking send, my boss walked behind me and asked for a file. I got nervous, my hand shook, and I accidentally forwarded the email directly to him.
No way! What was his reaction? Was he angry?
I looked at my screen and my heart stopped. I was waiting for him to shout at me, but he just stood there for a second, then he turned around and walked back to his office without saying a word.
That is so awkward. What did you do next?
I was sitting at my desk, paralyzed with fear. 5 minutes later, he sent me an email back. It said, "I agree. The rule is a bit annoying. Let's talk about it." I was so lucky. He was a very cool guy.
Wow, you saved your job. I had a different kind of office disaster. A few years ago, I was organizing a big meeting for 20 people. I was preparing the snacks and the drinks.
That sounds like a safe job. How could you make a mistake there?
Well, while I was buying the food, I saw a sign that said nut-free. I didn't think it was important, so I bought cookies with peanuts in them. During the meeting, while everyone was eating, one of the directors suddenly turned red and started coughing.
Oh, an allergy. That's serious.
Exactly. He was having an allergic reaction. I was panicked. Someone called a doctor, and luckily he was fine after a few minutes. But while everyone was looking at me, I felt like I wanted to disappear. I learned to always read the labels after that.
At least everyone survived. But let's talk about language mistakes. When I was learning French in school, I had a very embarrassing moment during a class trip to Paris.
Language mistakes are the best. Tell me what you said.
We were eating at a nice restaurant. I wanted to tell the waiter that the food was delicious, but I used the wrong word. I was trying to say, "I am full," j'ai fini, but I said something that sounded like, "I am a fish."
A fish?
Yes, the waiter looked at me, then he looked at my plate. He was trying to stay professional, but he started laughing quietly. My friends were laughing so loud that people at other tables turned around to look at us.
That's so funny. I had a similar problem when I was visiting Spain. I was walking in a park and I was looking for the library. I asked an old man for directions, but I used the word libreria, which means bookstore, instead of biblioteca.
So he sent you to a shop?
He gave me very long directions. I was walking for 20 minutes in the heat. When I finally arrived, I realized it was a small shop selling notebooks and pens. I wasn't looking for a shop. I just wanted to sit in the quiet library.
It's funny how one small word can change everything. While we were traveling last summer, my sister made a funny mistake too. She was trying to buy bread, but she kept using the word for soap.
Did the baker give her a bar of soap?
No, the baker was very confused. He was holding a baguette and pointing at it while she was saying, "No, no, soap." Everyone in the line was waiting, and they were getting a bit impatient. Finally, I stepped in and fixed the mistake.
It's good to have a brother who speaks the language. But you know, Mark, even though those moments were embarrassing when they were happening, they are great stories now.
You're right. While I was cleaning up the water in my apartment, I was angry, but now when I tell the story, I always laugh. Our mistakes make us human, don't they?
Speaking of embarrassing stories, we can't forget about technology. Our phones are smart, but sometimes they make us look very silly.
Oh, I have so many stories about that. Autocorrect is my biggest enemy. I remember one time I was texting my new boss. It was my first week, and I wanted to ask him about the meeting on Monday.
Let me guess, the phone changed the word meeting to something else.
Yes. While I was typing quickly, the phone changed meeting to pudding. So the message said, "Hi, are we still having the pudding on Monday?"
A pudding? That sounds much more delicious than a meeting. Did he reply?
He was very confused. He replied, "I didn't know we were having dessert, but okay." I was so embarrassed that I didn't look at my phone for the rest of the day.
That's hilarious. I had a similar problem with voice to text. I was driving home and I was trying to send a message to my wife. I said, "I am buying some bread," but because the car was making a lot of noise, the phone wrote, "I am buying a bear."
A bear? Like a grizzly bear?
Exactly. When I arrived home, my wife was waiting by the door with a very worried face. She asked, "Where is the bear, Mark? Is it safe?" We laughed about it for hours.
Technology really changed how we make mistakes. In the past, if you made a mistake, only one person knew. Now, if you post a wrong photo on Instagram, the whole world sees it.
True. I remember when my cousin was trying to post a photo of his new cat. He was using a filter to make the cat look cute, but he accidentally shared a photo of his messy bedroom instead. While he was sleeping, his friends were leaving funny comments on the post. He deleted it the next morning, but it was too late.
You know, Mark, even though we were talking about funny mistakes today, some mistakes actually changed our lives for the better. Do you have any serious mistakes that taught you a big lesson?
Let me think. Yes, I do. When I was studying in university, I thought I was the smartest student in the class. I didn't study for my final history exam because I was spending all my time playing video games and hanging out with friends.
Did you fail the exam?
I did. While my classmates were celebrating their graduation, I was sitting in the library studying for a retake. It was a very lonely and sad summer. But that mistake changed my attitude. I learned that talent is nothing without hard work.
I had a similar experience. A few years ago, I was working at a job that I didn't like. I was staying there only because the salary was good. I wasn't happy and I was feeling stressed every day. My mistake was waiting too long to quit.
What happened? Did you finally leave?
Yes. One morning, while I was drinking my coffee and looking at the rain outside, I realized that life is too short to be unhappy. I walked into my boss's office and resigned. It was scary, but it was the best decision of my life.
That's very inspiring, Mark. It shows that sometimes a mistake, like staying in the wrong job, can lead to a great discovery about yourself.
Exactly. While we were making all those mistakes in the past, we were also learning how to be better people.
Well, I think that's a great way to end our podcast today. We talked about broken vases, wrong trains, office emails, and even bears.
It was a lot of fun. To our listeners, don't be afraid of making mistakes. While you are learning English, you will make many mistakes, but that's how you grow.
That's a very deep thought, Sarah. But you know, not all life lessons are about big career changes. Some of my most painful and funniest lessons happened in the kitchen. I remember one time I was trying to cook a romantic dinner for my girlfriend. I was preparing a special pasta dish with a very expensive red sauce.
Oh, cooking mistakes are the best. Let me guess, you burned the pasta?
No, it was worse than that. While the sauce was boiling on the stove, I decided to add some salt. But I wasn't paying attention because I was listening to a loud rock song on the radio. I was dancing around the kitchen and singing at the top of my lungs.
I can imagine the scene. Did you use sugar instead of salt?
Exactly. I grabbed a big jar and poured a huge amount into the sauce. I thought it was salt, but it was actually white sugar. While I was stirring the sauce, I noticed it was looking a bit strange, but I didn't taste it.
Mark, you always have to taste the food while you're cooking.
I know, but I was in a hurry. When my girlfriend arrived, we sat down to eat. I was waiting for her to tell me how delicious it was. She took one big bite, and her face changed immediately. She looked at me and asked, "Mark, why does this pasta taste like a birthday cake?"
A birthday cake pasta. That is terrible. Did you still eat it?
We tried, but it was disgusting. We ended up ordering a pizza. While we were waiting for the pizza delivery, we laughed so much that we weren't even hungry anymore. But I learned my lesson. Always taste your food and always read the labels on the jars.
That reminds me of a mistake I made at a restaurant once. I was dining with some important clients from work. I was wearing my favorite white silk dress.
Oh no, white silk and a restaurant? That is a dangerous combination.
It was a disaster. While the waiter was serving our soup, he tripped on a chair. The bowl of tomato soup flew through the air. I was looking at my menu, so I didn't see it coming.
Did it land on the dress?
It splashed all over my front. One second I was talking about business, and the next second I was looking like a red painting. Everyone at the table stopped talking. The poor waiter was shaking with fear. He kept saying, "I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry."
What did you do? Were you angry?
I was shocked for a moment, but then I looked at the waiter's face and I felt sorry for him. I realized it was just an accident. I laughed and said, "Don't worry, I wanted to change the color of this dress anyway." My clients were so impressed with my reaction that they signed the contract the next day.
Wow, so your mistake, or the waiter's mistake, actually helped your career. That's a perfect example of what we were saying earlier. Sometimes a messy situation can lead to a great result.
It really can, but I never wore that dress again. Even after I washed it, I could still see a small orange spot. It was a permanent souvenir of that meeting.
Well, at least you got the contract. I think the lesson here is to stay calm when things go wrong. While everyone else is panicking, if you can stay cool, you will always win.
You're so right about staying cool, Mark, but staying cool is hard when you're physically lost. I remember a time when I was visiting Tokyo for the first time. I was walking around a beautiful neighborhood called Shibuya. Everything was looking so bright and exciting.
Tokyo is huge. I hope you had a map with you.
I did, but I wasn't using it. I was feeling very confident because I thought I remembered the way back to my hotel. While I was exploring some small side streets, I saw a cat. It was a very beautiful, fluffy cat. I started following it because I wanted to take a photo.
So you got lost because of a cat. That is a very Sarah story.
Exactly. While I was following the cat, I turned left, then right, then left again. Suddenly, the cat jumped over a wall and disappeared. I looked around and realized I didn't recognize anything. No one was speaking English, and all the signs were in Japanese.
What did you do? Did you panic?
For a minute, I did. My heart was beating very fast. I was standing in the middle of a busy street and I was crying a little bit. But then I saw a small police station. I walked inside and showed them my hotel business card. The officer was very kind. He showed me the right train station. While I was sitting on the train going back, I vowed to never follow a cat in a foreign city again.
That's a good rule. My biggest travel mistake was more about physical pain than getting lost. A few years ago, I was trying to learn how to ski in the Alps. I was taking a beginner lesson, but I thought I was ready for the big mountain.
Oh no, Mark. Please tell me you didn't go to the Black Slope.
I did. While my instructor wasn't looking, I skied away from the group. I was going very fast down the hill. At first, it felt amazing. The wind was blowing in my face and the sun was shining. But then I saw a big jump in front of me. I didn't know how to stop.
Did you jump?
I flew into the air for 1 second. It was like a movie, but the landing was a disaster. I hit the snow very hard, and I started rolling down the hill like a giant snowball. While I was rolling, I lost my skis, my hat, and my goggles.
Were you hurt?
Nothing was broken, but my pride was definitely hurt. While I was trying to find my skis in the deep snow, a group of 5-year-olds skied past me perfectly. They were laughing at me. I had to walk all the way down the mountain in my heavy boots.
That is so embarrassing. But hey, at least you learned that you aren't a professional skier yet.
Exactly. I learned that it's important to listen to the instructor. Now, when I go skiing, I stay on the easy slopes, and I don't try to be a hero anymore.
It's funny how these mistakes teach us about our limits. We were talking about technology earlier, but sometimes our physical limits are the hardest lessons.
True. Whether it's following a cat in Tokyo or skiing down a mountain in France, our past mistakes are really just future wisdom.
I love that. Future wisdom. That's a great title for a book.
Speaking of future wisdom, Sarah, I think my bank account has a lot of wisdom because of my past shopping mistakes. I remember one time a few years ago, I was browsing a website late at night. I was feeling a bit bored and sleepy.
Oh, late night shopping is always a recipe for disaster. What did you buy?
I saw a 70% discount on a professional camping tent. In the photo, it was looking huge and very high-tech. I thought, this is perfect for my summer trip. I clicked buy immediately and went to sleep.
Was it not a good tent?
Well, 2 weeks later, a very small envelope arrived in the mail. I was expecting a big box, so I was very confused. When I opened the envelope, I found a tiny plastic tent. It was a tent for a doll's house.
No way. You bought a toy tent?
Yes. While I was reading the description that night, I didn't notice the word miniature. I spent $50 on a piece of plastic that was only 10 centimeters tall. While my friends were preparing their real tents for the camping trip, I was showing them my toy tent. They laughed at me for the whole weekend.
That is brilliant. It reminds me of a mistake I made with a birthday gift for my sister. She was living in a very small apartment at the time. I wanted to buy her something natural, so I ordered a plant online.
Plants are usually a safe gift, aren't they?
Not this one. While I was choosing the plant, I didn't check the species. I bought a giant bamboo. When it arrived at her house, it was already 2 meters tall. While she was trying to find a place for it, the plant kept growing. After 1 month, it was touching the ceiling.
Did she have to cut a hole in the roof?
Almost. She had to give it to a local park. She was a bit upset, but we were laughing about it later that night. It was another lesson for me. Always check the size before you buy anything online.
Exactly. Whether it's a tiny tent or a giant bamboo, the details matter. You know, Sarah, looking back at all these stories today, the flooding apartment, the wrong trains, the tomato soup dress, and the toy tent, I realized something important.
What is that, Mark?
While we were making those mistakes, we were often stressed or embarrassed, but those moments created the best memories we have. If we didn't make mistakes, our lives would be very boring and we wouldn't have anything to talk about on this podcast.
I couldn't agree more. Mistakes are just proof that we are trying new things and living our lives to the fullest. To all our listeners, we hope you enjoyed our stories today. Maybe while you were listening to us, you remembered some of your own funny mistakes.
Don't be afraid to share them with your friends. It's the best way to practice your English and have a good laugh at the same time.
Thank you for staying with us until the end of this long episode. You were a great audience today.
Keep practicing your past simple and past continuous, and remember, a mistake today is a great story tomorrow.
See you in the next episode of The Daily Breeze.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.